What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video with your boy zayxclusive. So today's video is a little different. Today we are filming a video that is long overdue. Now the RS3 does not have an automatic starter, so I want to give y'all a cold start. So I have to hop in the car and do it manually. So you press start, click RS, then RS again to go on RS performance, and then cold start. Sounds alright. Alright, so y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail. This video is not clickbait. I ordered a car through a dealership. They told me they only sell their cars at markup. They did not charge markup. They didn't charge any type of fees. I waited 6 months for the car to come in, put a deposit down, and when the car arrived, the dealership tried to charge me $5,000 over sticker and added on fees and markup. So today, I'm just sharing the experience and explaining what happened. Before I had an RS3, I had an Elantra in. And the reason why I wanted to upgrade from an Elantra into an RS3, well, the reason should be obvious. I mean, it's a completely different level car. But even prior to me even wanting to get a faster car or a better sports car per se, I started having issues with my Elantra in. I got the first generation. It was a 2022. And long story short, to make a long story short, I had to get an engine replacement before I hit 10,000 miles. I was like 9,000 miles. It needed an engine replacement, and turns out the Hyundai dealership actually misdiagnosed it. It never needed an engine replacement. It was just the engine knock sensor was misfiring, causing the car to go into limp mode, and they replaced my long block for no reason. The car went into limp mode about a month after they replaced the long block. They thought they fixed the issue, but they didn't. Come to find out, it was just the engine knock sensor that needed to be replaced. So after the experience that I had with Hyundai, I was kind of over it, and I wanted to change things up. So once I decided I wanted to change things up, I started shopping in the market for an upgrade. I had a few cars in mind. I had the 2024 Mustang that was coming out. I had this car, obviously the RS3. I had a Lexus IS 500, and I had an M340i. Those were kind of the options. So over time, I narrowed it down for my primary choice to be an RS3 because A, you never see them, especially the 8Y generations, the 2022s and up. I have a 2024. I got this car 2 months ago, May 5th. If you have not seen the delivery video, I'll pop up a card, click that card, watch that video after you get done watching this one, or you can just go on my channel and watch it. So now that we got that out of the way, and now you guys have a little backstory over my journey to purchase an RS3, now I'm gonna tell you guys what happened with the dealership that I originally ordered my car through. So the year is 2023. I've been shopping for an RS3 for months now. I've been calling all around the country. My dealership, I live in upstate New York in a small city called Buffalo. My dealership, unfortunately, Audi of Buffalo, their allocation list was super long. I got put on the list. I was number 12. I had sat at number 12 for about 3 months. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to wait on my dealership. They're obviously not going to be able to allocate me anytime soon. I started searching around the country, and one of my followers tells me about this dealership in Florida, Audi of Store, Florida, that they sell cars at markup, and that he just ordered one through them, and the allocation list is really short, and that I should contact them, and they can get me a car. So that's exactly what I do. I contact them, I reach out, and I meet a guy named Brian. He seems very squared away, very put together. He seems like a decent guy. He puts me on the allocation list. 3 months pass. He gives me a call right after my 21st birthday. He gives me a call, tells me, hey, great news. Your allocation has been pushed through. We can now take your deposit, build your car, and get it on order and get it shipped to the US. So I ordered the car, put my $1,000 deposit down. Now I ordered the car back in October of 2023. So now he's updating me, giving me updates, letting me know when the car is being built. He lets me know when the car is built. He let me know when the car left Germany to be shipped to the US. And he let me know when the car hit the port in Jacksonville from Germany to the US. So now at this point, I'm super excited. I've been ecstatic about the whole experience. But this entire time, I've been asking him to send me over the buyer's order so I can get a check ready, know how much the car is gonna cost. He's been reluctant, and the whole time he was super reluctant to give me an out-the-door price because he claimed that Audi had not yet settled on the 2024 prices. Now, in the months to come of 2024, as he was updating me, they settled on the price, the MSRP price. I'll pop it up. That was the MSRP price. So him being reluctant to give me an out-the-door price, it should have just been plate fees and my taxes. All the standard fees to purchase a car, like taxes, plate fees, things like that, on a sheet of paper, and that's what's called the buyer's order. And he could have sent that over to me electronically because, as you guys know, like I said, I live in upstate New York, and I was purchasing the car out of state down in Florida. So I wanted to have everything lined up so I could do a smooth transaction, fly down, buy the car, get the car back home. So he was reluctant the whole time to send over the buyer's order. So now the car has hit port in Jacksonville. So I requested from him, and he says this to me. He's like, hey, unfortunately, I still can't get you an out-the-door price until we physically have the car on our lot. I forgot the exact reason that he was giving me, but it was some BS reason, like we have to get the car in our system first or something like that. So I'm playing the game. I'm like, cool. But I'm also anticipating something bad to happen, and that's exactly what happened. So the car, after about 2 weeks of it being down at the port in Jacksonville, finally gets shipped over to the dealership in Audi Store, Florida. He sends me over pictures. Everything seems to be going like it should. So I say, hey, I still haven't gotten the buyer's order over to me, Brian. Can you send that over? When I requested this, he was still reluctant, even with the car in the dealership. So at this point, I call him up. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I don't understand why you can't send me the buyer's order over. He's like, yeah, I just got to talk to my sales manager, get all the paperwork together, talk to my financing manager, get all the paperwork together. And he's like, how do you plan on purchasing the car? So I let him know. I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going to be financing the car through you guys or anything like that. I'm going to come with just a cashier's check, and that'll be that. So that's why I just need the buyer's order sent over, and we'll be set. The first red flag was he lied and told me that their dealership does not accept outside buyer's order checks from outside of the state. Like, it has to be from a bank in Florida. I've never heard of that. So at this point, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Last I knew, cash was cash. So I'm like, is there a reason why? He claims that this is just their policy. The second red flag was, he was like, if you're financing the car, we unfortunately do not accept any outside banks for our financing. All of our financing must be through Audi Financial. So at this point, that's where I had to pump the brakes and stop him in his tracks and say, Brian, this is not my first time buying a car. I know I'm young, I'm 21, but I'm not stupid. You can finance a car from any certified financial institution that you can get approved through, or that has the best rate, however you want to do it. Me personally, I didn't buy this car cash, but I had a super great rate up at my credit union, which I wound up financing this car that I got from Atlanta, Georgia through, but we'll get to that later in the video. So I let him know, hey man, all these rates are too high for RS cars. I have excellent credit, outstanding credit. I'm not willing to pay those high rates. Like, can I speak to your sales manager? So he puts me on the line with the sales manager, and from here, things just start to go downhill. He was claiming that they could not accept an out-of-state check, whether it was a check from a credit union or a bank. It had to be a check from a bank in their state, in their area. So basically, he was saying, if you got a check from a Chase in New York and you were purchasing the car down in Florida, we're not going to accept that New York Chase check. It has to be from down in Florida, and it also has to be through our bank, through our financial institution. So eventually I let him know, hey man, if you guys aren't gonna accept my check, I'll take my money elsewhere, and I'll just buy a car from another dealership. Like, I have everything set up, I'm not financing through you guys. So he was a little reluctant to accept a check from my credit union, but eventually I convinced him to do so. He proved to me that he was lying, because he's like, okay, what bank do you want to finance through? And I give him the bank, and at first it was Navy Federal. Then he's like, we don't accept their checks because they send draft checks, but I had options. So I actually wound up finding a local credit union with a better rate, and I decided to go through with them. So I'm telling him everything, and I'm like, yeah, I still haven't received my buyer's order yet. You guys send that over so I get everything put together, and so I can fly down to purchase my car. So now he's a little salty because I got him to admit that they can indeed, in fact, accept a out-of-state check. They send over the buyer's order. We get off the phone. So now I'm going over the buyer's order, and as a matter of fact, let me pull it up. So the car that I had ordered was Python Yellow, which was $595, basic black interior, so that's included. And I had the Audi side with rear cross traffic assist. That's all I added to the vehicle. My total MSRP is $64,340. Cool. So all I'm expecting to see on that buyer's order is obviously my New York State tax, and then my plate fees to get the car registered and everything. The first bogus fee that I see is a perma plate fee for $1,372. They have something else called taxable fees. They were trying to charge me $250. $1,150 dealer fee, a non-tax fee of $1,535.35, bringing my grand total after tax to $74,514.70 out the door. Completely over what the price should have been. I should have been paying plate fees and tax. If you guys don't do markup, you don't charge any extra fees, why is there $5,000 over what I should have been paying? I was super confused. So I called Brian. I'm like, hey, can you explain all the fees and everything? I asked him what permaplate was. That was the only thing that he could explain. He said it's basically just a coating that we put on the car, a ceramic coating to protect the paint. It's our policy. We do it on all our cars. Prior, when I ordered the car 6 months ago, he told me that they did no policy fees, no markup. There was no talk of this. And now all of a sudden, the car's there on the lot, and all of these fees are coming up out of the blue and out of nowhere. So at this point, I'm like, okay, can I speak to your sales manager? So I request a sales manager. Same guy that I was dealing with before. He basically tells me, to make a long story short, all of the fees, the non-tax fee was literally something they just threw on. It was their policy. The perma plate, they said okay, because I was refusing for them to put it on my car because I I had a shop up here that wanted to do a promo deal that was going to give me a great deal on ceramic coating, tints and everything. So you're like, okay, we won't put the ceramic coating on, but we still have to charge you for it because it's in our policy and we do it on all of our RS cars. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so you guys actually do markup and you lied about it. So now where I'm at now is I'm stressing. I'm at a crossroads. I got all these fees that I don't want to pay, but I also have a very rare car that I waited a long time for, that my YouTube channel has been anticipating. Me, my close friends have been anticipating for a very long time. So I say, okay, I'm going to get my financing in order. I'll be in contact with you guys. So I hang up the phone with them and I instantly I call Jackson, a close friend of mine, Jackson. Majority of you guys already know him. And I explain the whole situation to him. And he's like, no, bro, don't do it. It's a waste of money to pay markup. The car's not going to retain that value if you ever want to resell it. So all those thousands of dollars you're paying over, you'll never get that money back. I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah, I know. And at first, I kind of was upset with him because I kind of got mad because I'm like, bro, you know how long I've been waiting for this car and you want me to just throw the deal out the door just like that? Just over them trying to charge me $5,000 over. I'm like, bro, I got the money, I can just pay the markup. Like, I don't want to lose the deal. I don't want to have to lose the car and then have to wait another 6 months or maybe a year and a half to get another 2024 model. Like, I was willing to pay it. But I thank Jackson so much after this because he literally talked me to my senses. He's like, bro, do exactly what you did before. Call around the country where later in the year of 2024, there will be one available somewhere that's willing to sell you at MSRP. And he was right. But I hadn't got that far yet. So now I'm panicking, I'm stressing. So now, over the next couple of days, I hadn't contacted the dealership in Florida. I'm calling around the country, and I find a dealership in Manhattan, Audi of Manhattan, New York City, that had one completely blacked out. It was basically, it was fully loaded. It had every single package, and it was about $1,500 over what the Florida dealership was trying to charge me, but it was a fully loaded spec. So it actually would have held its value, and it was actually worth the $76,000 or so that I would be paying out the door to purchase it. So instantly, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the dealership that I'm going to purchase the car from. So I instantly get on the phone. I call Audio Store Florida. I explain to them, hey, I don't like the way you guys do business. You guys lied to me. You're trying to charge me markup. When I spoke with you months ago, you said there was no markup. I'm going to call Audio of North America. I'm going to open up a case on you guys because you're lying to customers, you're charging customers bogus fees, and you're taking advantage of people, and that's not how you should do business. They were aware that I have a YouTube channel. They basically threatened me and said if anything is released to the public, we'll contact our lawyers and everything. I informed them, don't worry, everything will be done legally. Me doing a YouTube video is essentially me leaving a review, a public review on my experience with you guys, and that'll be that. So that was that. They sent me back my deposit, and I spoke to the salesman, Brian, one more time, and I said to him, hey, like, man, you lied to me. You completely lied to me. You strung me along for months, and the car lands, and now you charge me all these fees. And he's like, I'm sorry, man. Our policies changed. I can't do anything about it. So at that point, I washed my hands with them and I was done. So now I'm in contact with the dealership in New York City. And as you guys heard, I bought this car from Atlanta, Georgia. So I wound up not even buying a car from them. So the first strike was Audi of Store, Florida. Terrible experience, right? So now I'm in contact with the dealership in New York City. To make a long story short, they were not going to charge me any markup. I believe I was paying like a $500 dealer fee, but I was willing to pay that because it's very common for dealerships to do that with RS cars. So I was willing to pay that. I had booked my flight to go down to New York City and buy the car. He sent me over my buyer's order. We settled on a great price, and I was set to fly out that weekend on Saturday. Now, it was Thursday. I'm at work, and I get a text from the dealership in New York City of Audi Manhattan saying, hey, man, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the car was already pre-sold before me and you ever spoke and put a deal on it, so the car is no longer available. My managers and myself are scrambling to find you another car. So now I'm right back to where I was at before I've contacted them. Back to square one, and now I have no car. I gave up the car in Florida, which I'm glad because I'm glad I didn't pay any markup because I wound up finding this one. And I got a really good deal. I actually got this car under MSRP. But I'm back to square one now. So they're trying to find me a car. So now I call Audi of North America back and inform them of the experience with New York City. Because now that's strike 2 for you guys, Audi. And I'm really just looking to just ditch the brand. And I'm so glad I didn't because I'm happy with my car. But after you've been through that for now, it's been weeks of going through this. It's been about 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. And it was just a terrible experience. So over the next 2 days, I called about 45 dealerships, if I'm not mistaken, just around the country. All right, guys. So I've been calling Audi dealerships all morning. As you can see, if you look at my call log, I don't know if the camera's going to focus or not, but I've been calling Audi dealerships all morning to see if anyone's willing to sell at sticker that has one on the lot. And I found 2 available. The one I'm sitting in that was down in Atlanta, and then I found one in Connecticut, but it was not on their lot. They would have had to transfer it to another dealer. So I wound up getting all the paperwork for this car, for my car, and I explained to the salesman, I said, okay, I'm not willing to pay any markup. I told him the situation that happened in New York City, the situation that happened in Florida, and Tony down in Audi of Marietta was super good, man. Like, he took care of me. Like, he understood. He had empathy. He understood that the dealerships tried to take advantage of me. He apologized on their behalf and said, I'm sorry. That's not how dealerships should conduct their business. That is not how we conduct our business down in Audi of Marietta. And long story short, he took care of me. Flew down and bought this car that same weekend. But before I flew down and bought this car, I was this close, guys, to buying a Lexus IS 500, 2024 Lexus IS 500, all black, red interior. So you get a 5-liter V8, I believe 472 horsepower, and Lexus reliability. So you can't go wrong. But I decided to go ahead and go with the RS3 because this was like my first dream car. This is what I wanted, and I stuck through. Went down to Atlanta and bought it. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I left out a bunch of stuff because I didn't want to make the video super long, but I tried to touch on the most key details. I'm trying to think right now if I left anything out. That I told you guys that they lied about saying they couldn't accept the out-of-state check, that they were trying to force me to finance through them, and then on the markup. Those are pretty much the main key things that happened with the dealership in Florida. So Audio Store Florida, shame on them. I couldn't believe the experience. Like, when it was unfolding in front of me, it was just like my heart stunk down to my stomach. It was just terrible after waiting 6 months, because I literally thought I was not going to be able to find a car. But God is good. I found one. My spec, I have the carbon fiber package. I have the black with red stitching. I have the RS Sport exhaust, which I honestly think is a waste of money because it doesn't really sound that good. But the car automatically came with it on, so it was what it was. And I have the black optics package and the Audi side assist. So the only package that this car is missing is the RS technology package, and I think there's a black roof option, and then that's pretty much it. This car has everything else. So I'm in love with my spec. I love my car. I'm so glad that I got it, and here we are making content with it. So if you stuck around to the end of the video, definitely drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think. If you guys think I made the right decision backing out, or if you think it's really just a common thing. I'll never settle for paying markup for a new car unless it's like something super rare that no one can get their hands on. These are rare, but they're not super rare to the point where you can't get your hands on one, and I obviously proved that by finding one. It was not easy finding one of these cars. I literally used hours of my days to call dealerships, and it was unfortunate because I should not have to do that. I was supposed to be doing business with a dealership that values their customers. With that being said, man, yeah, there it is. I spilled the beans. That's basically what happened with the deal in Florida. I know I'm 2 months overdue with this video. I wasn't even going to film it at first, but I know a lot of you guys were looking forward to me filming this and explaining what happened, because you guys didn't know what happened. You all were in the dark. So I hope this sheds some light on it. For any people that maybe work at a dealership that may be watching this, please do not treat your customers like that. We're people just like you. Please don't try and get over on us and scam us. I hope this video shed some light on the topic for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you stayed to the very end, drop a like down below and comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Give me your opinion on what happened, everything I just shared with you guys. But with that being said, that will conclude today's video. I will see you guys in the next vlog. Zayxclusive out.